I took those looks, I took that judgment, and I went through law school with a toddler on my hip, and I was destined to prove them wrong, knowing that no one could say or do anything to change my mind of what I wanted and where I was going. And unfortunately, I took that with me and that chip on my shoulder as I led my startup. And by that time, I had had so many experiences with leadership. I knew what it felt like to be lifted up. I knew what it felt like to be pushed down. And you would think I would know the kind of leader I wanted to be. You would think. But I made poor choices. I spent money in places I didn't need to. I was creating office space, making sure that my corner office screamed boss. I hired an assistant. I hired a marketing team. I hired friends. And I'm still glad that I did not see their face when they recognized that I was now treating them like a subordinate and not an equal. When we were in meetings, if someone pointed out a challenge or a problem, and there were many, I would shut them down saying things like, I've already considered that. And the company failed. When apps came out, we became obsolete overnight, but it wasn't just the technology that failed. I did. I had created a leadership facade without a leadership foundation. I had chosen authority and control over connection, and it's the reason I've been studying connection ever since. The connection between individuals, how teams connect, but also how leaders connect to their teams. Because the costs, dare I say the risks, of being disconnected are very large. There are professional costs of disconnection. There's also mind and body costs, but let's talk about the professional costs. We have decreased productivity when we're disconnected from our teams. We have poor collaboration and teamwork. We have decreased innovation and creativity when we are disconnected. And we also have lower job satisfaction that leads to higher turnover. And the costs of this are staggering because disconnected teams and disconnected leaders are the leading cause of disengagement. And that number right now is $1.9 trillion in the United States alone. But I have some good news. Not all of that is due to leadership, just 70%. So we're at $1.33 trillion in terms of what disconnection is costing us in terms of our leadership. And that's a difficult number to get your head around. It's hard for me to understand that in context that think about from your teams. What's the cost when a team member disengages? What's the cost when they're less productive? What's the cost when they leave? And so I have been trying to mitigate those risks for the last 10 years. And I've been studying connection, and what I've realized is that we can reduce those costs through the power of relatability.